Hello. Let's see. I was just about to hit that. Hey, hey, who's there is what I was asking. Who's all out there tonight? Greetings from Arlington, Massachusetts. Whew. It's been a warm one. It's been a warm summer so far. And the AC on my car is not working right. I think it might be something called a relay or a magnetic control or something. I'm hoping it's not a compressor. I don't want to have to replace a compressor on my car's AC. But wow. Hey, Yosemite. That's so funny. I'll have a Yosemite sandwich, please. Oh, so I got my comments over here and my screen over here. I'm going to be doing this bit. Paul Gipp in the house. Bam. Start a watch party, Gipp. Get Kim and Marky watching, and Scott and Sarah. They ought to be out there watching too. Hey, Robin. Keeping it real in Ra-Cha-Cha. Western New York in the house big time tonight so far. That's great. We're like just scooting right down I-90, I think. It's still, all these many months later of doing this stuff, I still get so worked up before showtime and doing the tech stuff. And the fact that hey, Alfreda, great. Did you get word from JJ? Because I was like, hey, I'm not connected. Do the thing. So yay. Wow, I get so nervous before doing these shows. A lot of it has to do with the tech. I'm just relying so much on my computer not failing and OBS working properly and just so many other things that are beyond my control. Something that is within my control is asking people to be the guest on the show. At the interval tonight, we'll hear a song from Melanie Brule. She put out this album a little while ago now, Fires, Floods, and Things We Leave Behind. She's going to sing a song off of this one. And you are in for a treat during the interval. We've got some new stuff coming your way also during the early part of the show. You'll get a little Bill Passalacqua. Yeah. So the Twitter tells me that it's the 75th anniversary of the A-bomb on Hiroshima. It's got me thinking a lot about my grandfather lately. I walk around the house doing gardening, and I think about my grandpa, like, gardening in his yard, walking around in his boxer shorts. I'm like, I am built for that. I'm ready to be that guy. May I be frank with you? So my grandpa used to make me root beer floats, and I was at a friend's house for a social distance hang the other day, and she had some root beer in her cooler, and I asked before I left if I could grab a root beer and take it home. I wanted to make myself a root beer float, and I was so happy with it. I took a picture of it. Here you go. It's a, oh wait, that's not it. That's my friend Paul Dilly. If you were watching the show a couple of weeks ago, got a phone call in the middle of the show. I'm playing the show, end a song, boom, phone lights up, and it's my friend Paul, and I'm like, well, everybody knows I'm streaming, but like maybe something's up. So I'm like, hey man, live streaming right now, but I got a minute. What's up? He's like, hey man, I'm in your driveway. Okay, if I come in and play a little bit. So Paul came in. Crazy. But we were talking about root beer floats and Grandpa, and I had a root beer float the other day. I took a picture of it, and this is Dame Angela Lansbury in the original production of Sweeney Todd, 1979, in her role as Mrs. Lovett. I don't have a clue how that got in there. Root beer float, baby. Look at that. A little Saranac root beer and some vanilla ice cream loaded that. Whoa, did I load it up with vanilla ice cream. I put the root beer in there, sip some out, put some more root beer in there. Oh boy, tasty root beer floats, friends. I haven't had one. It's been decades. Like at least 2 decades since the last time I had one. I don't indulge in. You'll be surprised, but I don't indulge in the root beer floats on a regular basis. anymore. But when I was younger, Grandpa would make me one, and it's like, oh man, I love those. And then there was the root beer in the cooler, and I brought it home, and I made myself a root beer float. It was pretty darn tasty is what it was. Hey, Bill Poss in the house, woohoo! What do we got going on here? Mr. Don Richards, how are you, my friend? Amber, that is definitely a root beer float. You are right. Somebody just texted me. Hope it wasn't my mom. She's been getting crazy with the text messaging lately. She knows I got a show tonight. All right. It was hard ice cream, Jim. It was right out of the freezer, scooping it out with a spoon. And I don't have a lot of vanilla ice cream here either. It was just like I knew I had a little left. Used just about all of it on that particular thing of beauty. It's art. If it wouldn't melt, they could hang it in a gallery. Maybe we need a frozen root beer float museum. Could happen. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it, but somebody that's skilled with grant writing could get funding for such a thing, don't you think? Skilled people can get funding for just about anything. I'm certain of it. So boy, oh boy, got a fun show lined up for you. Got some new stuff. There was a debate a couple weeks back. Maybe it was more than a couple. Maybe it was 3 weeks back. But there was a big poll. I asked everybody which version. I didn't know that this was going to turn into the crazy thing that it turned into. But I asked which version of Kale Store do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the original, the polka version? Do you want to hear the rabbit-inspired minor key version, or do you want to hear the the bluesy version that I made up for dancers? And there was like a big debate. The polling was going back and forth. It got a little difficult to keep track of. So I got a new. We're gonna determine Kale Store a little tiny differently this week. Just giving you a heads up. I'm looking at the clock. It's looking like it's just about 8 o'clock, which means it's just about time to get that great opening theme song by our friend Jeff Gaynor going. So hold on to your hats, everybody. It's time for All Together Now with your host, Greg Klyma. Whoop.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening pleasure, Mr. Greg Klyma.
You got the motivation, son, you know you're capable. Sometimes you've gotta push the cart when there ain't no horse to pull it. It ain't no real big secret, it's just that you try. While others are content, wonder why, oh why, oh why. How's it going? How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since we've had a conversation. How's it going? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, man, I know what you're saying. I felt the same way too. This time about a year ago, I was feeling just like you. I was standing next to a lake. The water started getting high. I had to head out for the hills. I did not want to die. How's it going? How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since we've had a conversation. How's it going? How you doing, my going, everybody. Well, now lately I got all these pictures just running through my brain. Just like in Guy Clark's Desperados waiting for a train. When my time is over, if I happen to meet that fate, well, now I hope that you'll be there, Grandpa, to greet me at the gate, singing, how's it going? How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since we've had a conversation. How's it going? How you doing, my friend? How's it going? How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since we've had a conversation. How's it going? How you doing, my friend? Well, how's it going, everybody? Did you enjoy that new intro from my friend Bill Pasalacqua? I think that's so cool. I told you, we'll have a little Bill Pasalacqua tonight. How about it for Bill Pasalacqua, everybody? Come on, how about it for Bill?
How about it for Greg Klyma?
Play a Bill Pasalacqua song. His name was Jackrabbit. Throw him a stick, throw him a bone, he'd jump right up and grab it. Run like the wind, jump like a deer, there you have it. Best old dog a man ever had, his name was Jackrabbit. My first wife named Big Millie laughed so hard she shake like jelly. She'd send Jackrabbit to the grocery store with $1 in his collar and sometimes more. Well, I had a dog, his name was Jackrabbit. Throw him a stick, throw him a bone, he'd jump right up and grab it. Run like the wind, jump like a deer, there you have it. Best old dog a man ever had, his name was Jackrabbit. Now you see a rabbit run, say, get him, Jack. Count to 10 and he'd bring him on back. He could run a dead sprint through a holler log. He was half blue heeler and a half hound dog. Well, I had a dog, woo! His name was Jackrabbit. Throw him a stick, throw him a bone, he'd jump right up and grab it. Run like the wind, jump like a deer, there you have it. Best damn dog a man ever had, his name was Jackrabbit. Our first boy was named Red Jimmy. He'd hold up a stick and say, jump, Jack. Gimme that dog, we'll grab it right out of the air. Took first place at the county fair. Well, I had a dog, his name was Jackrabbit. Threw him a stick, threw him a bone, he'd jump right up and grab it. Run like the wind, jump like a deer, there you have it. Best damn dog a man ever had. His name was Jack, best old dog a man ever had. Called him Jack, best damn dog a man ever had. His name was Jackrabbit. Bill Passalacqua song, Jackrabbit, from Jackrabbit and Other Love Songs. I hope the lighting's okay. I forgot to turn on the overhead light. Well, I didn't forget exactly. It's so hot. It's so hot that I kept it off. I'm just kind of hoping that I'm well enough lit. If I need to turn it on, you let me know. I know that nobody in these comment sections are very shy about letting me know when something's bugging them. So if it's bugging you, let me know and we'll take care of it. But for now, I'm kind of enjoying having it off. I saw on Twitter that today, I think, is the 75th anniversary of the A-bomb being dropped on Hiroshima. I may be wrong about the exact date, but I did see for sure on social media a 75th acknowledgement of the 75th anniversary of that event. And I want to play a song I made up for my grandpa Frank. May I be frank with you? Wrote this song a bunch of years ago. I still haven't gotten back around to the video that me and Aaron Sugar started all those years ago, but I finally did record it for an album. It's available on something called Fake Songs, which is on my Bandcamp page, klyma.bandcamp.com. And then you can find all the albums I've put out in the last few years and some of the older ones too. This song here, Grandpa's Purple Heart, is on the Fake Songs album. I remember George Carlin, my favorite comedian, George Carlin, did a bit about the way the names of things have changed through the years, and how in World War I there was a condition known as shell shock. Said it sounded like the guns themselves, shell shock. And then by the time you got to World War II, that same condition was called battle fatigue. Now we went from 2 syllables to 4 syllables, and fatigue, it's a softer sounding thing, battle fatigue. And by the time we got to the Korean War, that very same mental condition from being exposed to the horror of war was now being called operational exhaustion. And of course, these days they call it post-traumatic stress disorder. So I think one of the things you should be paying attention to in this song is the fact that it's a little tiny bit about PTSD. You know, my grandpa, he rarely talked about the war. Grandpa used to say, you gotta leave room for criticism. Grandpa used to say he liked Grandma best. Grandpa used to say if you eat that tomato, it will put hair on your chest. But my grandpa, he rarely talked about the war. Grandpa used to make things out of wood. Grandpa used to take his time on a backroads country drive, and Grandpa played harmonica with me and my band until he died at age 79. And my grandpa, he rarely talked about the war. Grandpa fought in World War II, the sequel to the war to end all wars. I loved him and respected him for sure, so I never pressed him hard to tell me more. And my grandpa rarely talked about the war. imagine what it was like for him to be in the Pacific on that day. My grandpa took a bullet in the leg, crawled behind a tree until the medics came. And he said to me, you know, that tree is why I'm standing here today. And that anecdote was typically all my grandpa'd have to say. I loved him and respected him for sure, so I never pressed him hard to tell me more. But that bullet wound on his ankle was not the only scar. My grandpa rarely talked about the war, but Grandpa used to say, you gotta leave room for criticism. Grandpa was a jack of all trades. And he told a silly joke about Mr. Bates and his son, Master Bates. But the memory I have of him speaks volumes to me now. You know, my grandpa, he rarely talked about the war. Grandpa's Purple Heart from the Fake Songs album. You've all met my housemate a time or two. Hey, Becky Hall, where you at?
I'm over here.
Why don't you come on over here? I'm talking about you to people. Probably curious if this is their first time tuning in. What does he mean, housemate?
See how this works.
It either will or the other thing. All right. Hopefully, thank you. Put out an album in 2013 called Another Man's Treasure. Boy, was that fun to record. It features performances by Ryan Fitzsimmons and Jeff Gaynor, who you might know as they're associated with this show. And then there was who all else? Jim Whitford played on that album, and Chris DeSanti was on that album. Michael Eck and Mark I'm forgetting Mark's last name right now. Dang, I hate when that happens. It's been a while. Sorry, Mark. But he played banjo and some bass. And Ashley Amoya came by and sang with us a little bit. Anyway, we recorded, the whole album was recorded in 2 days on 1-inch analog tape in a renovated barn. And this song is from that album. It's called Time Does Fly. Well, you work and you slave from the cradle to the grave, and the work is never done. Boss ain't around and love is out of town. Put that hammer down and have some fun. Oh, where'd the time go? Will it ever come back to me? Hey, my, how the time just fly away, 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 away. Say no time to play. Gotta make that money, don't you know? Make that money, yeah they do. Then they die just like you, singing Can't Take It With You when you go. Oh, where'd the time go? Will it ever come back to me? Hey, my, how the time does fly away, away, away. Sun's out today and your sonny wants to play. Who's gonna say if you do? It never fails. Someone tattletales. Hey, time, yeah, time will tell on you. Oh, where the time go? Will it ever come back to me? Hey, my, how the time just fly away, away, away. Oh, where the time go? Will it ever come back to me? Hey, my, how the time just fly away, 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 away from me.
Stuck it.
Ends with a Bo Diddley ending like any proper bluegrass song should.
Check it since I banged on this thing here.
So while Becky checks the tuning on the banjo, which could take a while, you know why there aren't any banjos on Star Trek? Because it's in the future. While Becky's checking the tuning there, want to let you know that at the interval tonight we'll get a song from Melanie Brule is going to sing us a song at the interval tonight. And in the second half of the show, we have another installment of Elaine's Kitchen. Our friend Elaine is back to teach us another tasty vegan recipe that you can try out. That'll hit the airwaves around 9:30 Eastern time tonight. So stay tuned for that. And while you're hanging out over here in showbiz land, we got some people saying hi to you and all that stuff. I think maybe they want to hear you sing a song.
I would love to.
All right. You got any old-timey sounding stuff?
That's about all I know.
All right. Well, then we're gold.
How about that railroad one?
Do it
All
to it.
around the world thing? Let's see. About his tempo.
All right. Yeah.
Working on that new railroad, right up to my knees. Working on that new railroad, right up to my knees. Working for old John Henry, and he's so hard to please. Oh Lord, I've been all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. It's not hanging that I mind, it's hanging just long. Oh Lord, I've been all around this world. Come open up this door. Lulu, stop your crying. Come open up this door. We'll hunt down that man of yours with my old 44. Lord, I've been all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. It's not the hanging that I mind, it's laying in the jail so long. Oh Lord, I've been all around this world. There you go. Mama and Papa, little sister make three. Mama and Papa, little sister make three. Send me to the gallows, that's when I say seal me. Oh Lord, I've been all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. It's not hanging that I mind, it's laying in the jail so long. Oh Lord, I've been all around this world.
Becky Hall, everybody.
Nice.
Put your hand clap emojis in the comments for Becky Hall. Woo! That's what we do these days. Hand clap emoji. Why? Well, I ain't one to have somebody play banjo all over a bunch of stuff and then not grab my own banjo. Oh, that's a lie. I do that all the time. But on this particular occasion, I got it nearby. I was telling you about that. Album I put out called Another Man's Treasure. Geez, what do you got to get rid of that right there? Did y'all see my new thing up there with the tips overlay? Venmo and PayPal me. Venmo and PayPal. That's how I make my money these days. When you give me a donation, thank you so very much for that.
Don't be cheap, folks. Tip the man.
Do appreciate it. There's no cover charge. There's no ticket wall for the show. If you can't afford to, please just stick around, enjoy the entertainment, share the video with friends. Sharing with friends is the most valuable thing you can do. Please host a watch party. Invite some folks to become part of our community. That would be great. Do appreciate it when you host the watch parties and share the video with friends. And if you can't afford it, Venmo, PayPal, they're both great. Tomorrow is a Bandcamp Friday. If you haven't got any of my albums yet, you can download them from Bandcamp tomorrow. Bandcamp Friday is when Bandcamp waives their revenue share. So every dollar that you spend on the albums tomorrow, August 7th, that comes to the artists, the music creators. We love Bandcamp Friday. So if you don't have any of my music yet, consider purchasing some tomorrow from Bandcamp. And if you're enjoying the show and you're doing all right and you want to throw a couple of nickels at the Venmo or PayPal, thank you so much for that. I was telling you about Another Man's Treasure, an album I put out in 2013. And here's one of the songs that we did on it. On this particular recording of the song on Another Man's Treasure, there are 3 banjos. I play this tenor banjo, and our friend Mark plays the 5-string banjo, and Ryan was playing a banjo cello. So there's like lots of banjo going on the recording of Circular World. This is one you can sing along to at home, by the way. I hope you're singing along. The show's called All Together Now. All together now. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. Hey, if the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. Hey, it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. The sun come up, the sun gonna go back down. Sing it with me. The sun come up, the sun gonna go back down. Hey, in a circular world where the stories just keep spinning around. Circle in the wagon, spinning around the sun. Stick a feather in your cap, call it revolution. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You know it wasn't very long ago when folks believed the world was flat. But if the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. All together now. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. But it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. Every now and then I come up with a lyric that I'm just so proud of. I'm like, how did I come up with that lyric? And I just pat myself on the back about it. Next verse of this song is one of them lyrics. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, it all makes sense to me now. Wrote it myself. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, it all makes sense to me now. Hey, it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. this back, you know, it was not very long ago when folks believed the world was flat. I don't know any flat earthers, do I? Oh, please. Please. Don't even. Last verse, here we go. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. Let's all sing it, here we go. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. But it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. Doctors say everybody dreams, but I don't remember a thing in the morning when I rise. I'm a blank slate. If what they say is true, I bet I dream about you. I do not pray that the Lord take my soul anymore, and I haven't for years, and yet I sleep very deeply. I pray for a dream about you. Sometimes it seems it comes out in songs what belongs in my dreams. Doctors say everybody dreams, but I don't remember a thing in the morning when I rise. I'm a blank slate. If what they say is true, if my mind is racing while my body doesn't move, though these pictures don't come into view, I bet I dream about you. I dream about you. See some new names going through the comments tonight. It's so nice to see our community growing here at All Together Now. I want to thank my friend Aaron Sugar for all his help with so many aspects of this show. Cheers to Aaron Sugar, everybody. Let's see now. Speaking of which, couple 2-3 weeks ago it got crazy in the comments, out of control. Can't even begin to put it into words just how insane it was. I had received 4 requests that week. I put out the request list. got 4 requests that week for Kale store. So I thought, well, we'll do a poll. You know, I have the original polka version, could play that. The rabbits had been eating my kale at that point, so I was goofing around with this minor key version. So I'd been playing a minor key version of the song. And a bunch of years ago now, I came up with a blues version of it on the guitar because I was playing for a lot of dancers. So I said, all right, everybody, which version of Kale Store am I going to play this week? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. And it just, the comments got out. It was crazy. It's like a big thumb war tournament, but comments. You know what I'm saying? It was just nuts. And so I was like, okay, we got to get way more civilized about this. We need a better way. It was hard to keep track. There were just so many comments going by, and then there was like there were people complaining about voter fraud, and there was just like some people were maybe double dipping on the vote, and you know it was a little much. So I thought, you know what? We'll leave it to chance. We'll spin a wheel. So I contacted Aaron Sugar. I said, is there any way we can get a wheel? So can we determine this Kale Store thing in a civilized manner? Aaron's like, dude, I got you. So ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the Kale Store wheel. I'm going to give it a little spin here. See what happens. Craziness. Okay, it's going around. It's coming around. See rap there. That ain't going to happen. Blues, maybe. Yeah. Polka version. Bam. Settled. Settle. We'll spin it again some other week. See how things go. This week, keeping it old school. We've been in quarantine. Socially distancing. It's very important to keep safe. A lot of you have been staying home. Quarantine. I respect that. But in our minds, ladies and gentlemen, in our mind, we can go wherever we want. Let's go to the Kale Store. Everyone get in the car. We're going to the Kale Store. They've got grains and granola bars, but kale's what we go there for. You could buy tofu or kombucha, a bag of goji berries, whatever suits you. But as for me, I'm going green. I'm going to the Kale Store. Now everyone should eat more kale. It makes you healthier without fail. I tell you with confidence, it's rich in nutrients and antioxidants, vitamin K and vitamin C, beta-carotene and more. So don't delay, today's the day. We're going to the Kale Store. Now don't forget your cotton bag. Paper and plastic are bad, 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 bad. And any produce that you don't eat, why, you could throw it on your compost heap. I don't want to preach to you, my friend. Don't want you thinking I'm a bore. It'd be cool if we carpool when going to the Kale Store. Everyone get in the car. We're going to the Kale Store. They've got grains, they've got granola bars, but kale's what we go there for. You could buy tofu or kombucha, a bag of goji berries, whatever suits you. But as for me, I'm going green. I'm going to the Kale Store. But as for me, I'm going green. Yep, I'm going to the Kale Store. Kale Store. Let's go to the store. You came to me in a dream last night, awaking my emotion. The question came in the morning light: have you been to the ocean? His clothes were loud and his skin was tan. Have you been to the ocean? Oh, the visions the night brings. No, it don't mean nothing, just yes and no is all I need. Have you been to the ocean? I know you've got a new love now, and talk about devotion. He was with you in my dream somehow. Have you been to the ocean? It's just rare that I remember dreams, and it's been years since you and me. Any chance you're wearing a brand new ring? And have you been to the ocean? Of course it was you, I saw your face. Of course you were drinking champagne. Yes, you laughed at the crashing waves. Have you been to the ocean? Hey, forget about it all. Sorry for the call. And as you started to speak, I lost the signal. But you came to me in a dream last night, awaking my emotions. The question came in the morning light. Have you been to the ocean? Have you been to the ocean? Have you been back to the ocean? The Ocean from Maybe the Ocean, available on an internet near you at Klyma.bandcamp.com. So much stuff has happened over here since the last time I checked in. Looks like y'all having a good time. I love to see that. Later on tonight, for those of you that are familiar with my routine at this point, when we get to the second hour of the show and it's done and it's 10 o'clock and I'm calling it quits for the night, what I've done a lot of the time is I hang out afterwards. After the credits roll, here I am, and we just kind of talk a little bit. Me talking to the screen, you making comments. So tonight we're going to try something new. For anybody that sticks around really late, around like 9:45 Eastern, 8:45 Central Time, we're going to try putting a Zoom link together, and our friend Aaron Sugar and Amber Black, and we're gonna get into the Zoom room there and have a little after show hang. Like if it were a bar gig or a cafe, that'd be like I'd play and then we'd all hang out, right? So we're gonna try that using technology tonight. That'll be a Zoom thing. So if you're here on the late side, that's something to look forward to. Coming up during the break, during the interval, oh boy, are you in for a treat, friends? Melanie Brule. Fires, Floods, and Things We Leave Behind. She's going to sing a song for you from this album, and I'm telling you, it's a knockout. And in the second half of the show, Elaine is back to show us a new recipe, Elaine's Kitchen. Tasty, healthy food for you. So let's see, what do I got on my set list here? I got a few more before the hour closes up. I think I want to play a song. I keep talking about our friend Aaron Sugar, and I know he loves this one. I put it on the set list special for Aaron tonight. And this one for all my dancing friends, this one's a waltz. This next one's a waltz. It's a waltz coming up, everybody. All right. Songs about rainbows, and what song the other other side. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we hope we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? Have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the same sound that calls the young sailor? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. There's a place in the cement where you put your hands when you were 5. All those years ago it made you giggle. Now just chews you up inside to think that sidewalk isn't going anywhere. That handprint is an artifact. They'll both be in this town forever, but you don't want to end up like that. There must be more to living that's coming through loud and clear. You want the end of the rainbow. That rainbow doesn't touch down here. When moonlight burns to ashes, this place just brings you down. If you can't find something to believe in here, start looking in another town. Your parents gave you freedom and affection. Your parents taught you how to make your own decisions. Hey, you're a big kid now. There won't be no going away party. You to ashes. This place just brings you down. If you can't find something to believe in here, start looking in another town. So what are you waiting for? I mean, like, what is it gonna take for you to be sure? The longer that you wait, the harder it's gonna be. Just start packing, don't look back. The world is waiting for you to shout. I'm free. There must be more to living. That's coming through loud and clear. You want the end of the rainbow. That rainbow doesn't touch down here. When moonlight burns to ashes, this place just brings you down. If you can't find something to believe in here, start looking in another town. 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 Another Town, originally found on Not a Complicated Guy. That's what album that was on. That's when I met Bill Pasalacqua. Oh, thank everybody. Yeah, look at all these comments lighting it up. That song has introduced me to Kara White in the House. You heard it? Great. Bill Pass. I know that that song means something to our buddy Aaron Sugar, and I get a lot of requests from it from all y'all. Thank you so much. I've been enjoying playing it on the piano quite a lot. So, hey, I'm going to do a couple more songs this set, and then I'll run a little commercial from a band camp and introduce you, if you don't already know, while you're about to get knocked out. She's got such a distinct voice. Melanie Brulé is going to sing us a song at the interval. I love it. I know you're going to love it. Please stick around for that. And let's see, what did I write down? Oh, I know what I wrote down. Another one of the often requested songs. That's what I did. Pick up my old guitar. Want to remind you that one of the most important things you can do, one of the most valuable things you can do at these shows is share it with friends. If you're watching right now alone, hit the share button. It's down here somewhere, I'm sure of it. If you're not subscribed to me yet on YouTube, sure would appreciate it if you subscribed to my YouTube channel. I got like 350 subscribers right now. I got to try to get to 1,000 before I can unlock certain things on YouTube as a user. So if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, please do that. Share the video with friends. That would be great. If you can afford it, Venmo and PayPal. The information's right there at the top of the screen. And you know, I'd greatly appreciate it if you can throw some nickels in the old bank account. It goes a long way, is what it does. Got a song that I put on an album forever ago. Same one as Another Town. Another Town is track 1, and Beanbag Chair is track 12 on Not a Complicated Guy. And all these years later, whenever I put out the request sheet, people are always like, Beanbag Chair. Somebody always requests it. I feel so loved. So I'm going to play Beanbag Chair for you tonight. I did a new recording of this on something called By Request Volume 1. My name is Stan. I'm a man. I have a flat on the east side because that's where it's at. I like to come home in the the evening and rest my bones. Maybe talk on my cell phone or send out some emails. KlymaBooksGigs@gmail.com. Thank you. Hey, I like to rest my derriere in my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. My favorite hobby is minding my own business. What the other people in my apartment building do in their living room, well, it don't confront me none. I just turn up my stereo machine, slip out of my blue jeans and shake my booty. When I'm not dancing in my underwear, you'll find me sitting in my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. I'm not a complicated guy. I like to keep things simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I like to keep things simple. I've had a pretty good life, I guess. Might even say that I've been blessed, 'cause I found ecstasy to which nothing else compares. In my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. Here we go. My name is Stan. I'm a man, I have a flat on the east side because that's where it's at. That's where his flat is at. I like to come home in the evening and rest my bones. Maybe turn on the television, crack open a cold one, and watch the WWE. Every now and then I have to get up to go to the Frigidaire, but then I get right back in my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. I'm not a complicated guy. I like to keep things simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I like to keep things simple. I've had a pretty good life, I guess. Might even say that I've been blessed, 'cause I found ecstasy to which nothing else compares. In my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair. Here's some Melanie Brulee. You know, I can't play this song without wanting some dancers. Just need them. There they are. You've gotten tough. Your heart's been beat up. You said it only hurt a little bit. You've had enough disingenuous love and everything that comes with it. You get a thrill when you reel them in a little, then you turn away. Now what's a boy to do with a girl like you but give his heart a shot of Novocaine? Hey, give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, nothing gonna get to you. Give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything. No, no, no. There are nights when you feel alright. You don't need anyone around. Other times when your words and pull him back. Makes a boy wonder about your previous lovers and what they could have done to make you act like that. Gave your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, nothing gonna get to you. Now give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, no joy, no pain. I know about that condition. Be careful what you wish upon yourself. Might help to get you by like any temporary fix, or hollow you out unlike anything that you had ever felt. Give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, nothing gonna get to you. Give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, no joy, no pain. Give your heart a shot. Give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Give your heart a shot. Give your heart a shot of Thank you! Woohoo! Oh, thank you so very much. God gracious, you all are too kind to me. Oh my God, thank you so very much for that. Yes, keep it going, friends. We're gonna see a commercial, and then we're gonna hear a song from Melanie Brule, and then I'll be back. Whole bunch of stuff coming up to everybody.
How about it for Greg Klyma?
All right, here we go.
Klyma Records presents By Request 10 original songs by the original artists, featuring Greg Klyma.
Give your heart a shot of Novocaine. Don't feel anything, nothing gonna get to you.
Greg Klyma.
I've got coffee, got weed, everything that I need. Who needs you?
Greg Klyma.
You don't rock and roll like you used to. You don't rock and roll like you used to.
And who could forget Greg Klyma?
In my beanbag chair. In my beanbag chair.
All this can be yours for $9.99. Available at Bandcamp.
I'll play your game. I'll choose the words just right. And then we'll say goodnight. You have a drink or two. I'll eat my dinner without you. Without you. You never had much time for me, and it's making me weak. I'll be beside you once a week. That ain't good enough for me. I'm as scared as you are.
How about that song from Melanie Brule, everybody? Find it on that album right there. You go check that out. It's got to be on an internet near you somewhere. I know it is. Here's one of my newer ones. There are gray hairs in my beard. Maybe now I look my age. For so long, so many have said I look so young. The aging that I feared, it's just a turning of the page. A lyric in a song I hadn't sung. I am singing for my life, singing for a wind that hasn't blown. Love will knock you cold, truth will cut you with its knife, and everything you ever learned is already known. Anything you'll ever learn is already known. I was singing in a barroom to a crowd of broken hearts, with the soft glows of the cell phones in their hands. My mind drifted back to our room, and the night things fell apart. I tried to put it in a way they'd understand. I was singing for my life, singing for a wind that hasn't blown. Love will knock you cold, truth will cut you with its knife, and everything you ever learned is already known. Anything you'll ever learn is already known. I came to this big-hearted, calling everybody friend. Playing music for a living is a dream. Turns out not everything I've started goes the way that I have planned, and yet I always end up right where I should be. Singing for my life, singing for a wind that hasn't blown. Love has knocked me cold, truth has cut me with its knife, and everything I ever learned was already known. And anything I'll ever learn is already known. We've sent monkeys into space and children off to war. We've made criminals the leaders of the land. Some people get a taste and they always need more. I have had about as much as I can stand, and I'm singing for my life, singing for a wind that hasn't blown. Love will knock you cold, truth will cut you with its knife, and everything you ever learned was already known. Anything you ever learned called Singing for My Life. I had plans to record that song in April. Had the session booked. Had the same band that recorded on the C&W album. It was going to be Paul Dilley on bass and David Andrew Moore on drums and Duke Levine on guitar. Had the session booked with Dave Westner for April 20th. And then, other stuff happened. Turns out not everything I started goes the way that I had planned. So maybe Singing for My Life will end up on another recording down the line. Here's a song, another waltz for all you waltzers out there. I know there's I see a couple of you waltzing in your kitchen tonight from the Fake Songs album. There's a guy on my street, has a sign in his tree, and the sign says Trump. The Paul Bunyan in me wants to chop that tree down to a stump. The Donald Trump in me wants to hate that guy who I don't even know. The Jesus in me wants to love everybody and let this one go. If you wanna get to the root of something, you can't chop it down. You have to dig in the ground. You can't chop it down. If you wanna get to the root of something, that's gonna take work. You get down on your knees, put your hands in the dirt. That guy on my street has a statue of Mary right there on his lawn. And each time I walk past, I think hard on the contrast. All of the love in a mother's arms. The Catholic in me wants to say a prayer. The agnostic in me isn't sure if he cares. The Jesus in me says forgive him, he don't have a clue. If you wanna get to the root of something, you can't chop it down. You have to dig in the ground. You can't chop it down. If you wanna get to the root of something, you might have to risk getting hurt. You get down on your knees and put your hands in the dirt. You get down on your knees. The Root from the Fake Songs album. That was some good waltzing out there, friends. That was some mighty fine waltzing. Good gracious. How'd you learn how to dance so good? Here's something you can boogie woogie to. My dad was a garbage man. My dad was a garbage man. truck, man, it stunk. Walking through your neighborhood, picking up cans. Your dad is a sanitation worker. My dad was a garbage man. My dad went to work every morning. My daddy came home every night. My mama made him a breakfast and dinner. It's an antiquated system, but it worked all right. Had 3 kids, provided for them. My daddy was a garbage man. We never had everything we wanted. Sure enough, had everything we needed. Plenty of stuff money can't buy. Them that don't believe it ought to give it a try. My dad got a CDL, finished his career behind the wheel. A lot of stuff changes over 34 years. You triple up them syllables, the meaning disappears. Your dad's an environmental social worker. My dad was a garbage man. It's a job that I respect and words I understand. My dad was a garbage man. Garbage man. Huh. I'm gonna play a song now. Jeez, see, Lori's in the house. I got a few videos on the YouTube, conceived and created by Lori Bousquet and Aaron Sugar. And Lori Bousquet must have insomnia right now. Maybe it's hard to sleep when you're 39 weeks pregnant. Never tried it. But hey, everybody out there in All Together Now land, our friend Lori Bousquet is like this far away from delivering a baby. And why don't we just take in some and send a whole bunch of love her way in southeast France. 3, 2, 1. You feeling that, Lori? You feeling that? It's coming your way. Let's do it again one more time. France is a far way away from some of us. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, sending all sorts of love out to Lori Bousquet for a healthy, happy baby and a no trouble in the delivery room. That's what we're talking about. Let's see here. One of the biggest thrills of my life was I walk into the burn back room one night and I'm seeing Melanie Brulé play a show. And she plays a bunch of Melanie Brulé songs. And she sings this great song and that great song. And I'm like, wow, this is a freaking great show, you know. And all of a sudden she says something about meeting this songwriter guy at a conference and this great song that this great songwriter that she just met has. And she's like, and I'm going to play it for you now. And then she played one of my songs. And I was just like, so I'm going to play you that song right now from, it's also on the Maybe the Ocean album. This one here is about Bobby Charles. I fell in love with this album called Bobby Charles by Bobby Charles a couple of summers ago. Listened to it all the time. And then one day I found myself writing this song in F sharp minor. That's a whole other story to tell. And anyway, you know, this guy appears in my brain and I start writing words about him. And he's hanging out at a bar. I'm like, I know that guy. I know that guy. And he's drinking. I'm like, I have walked a mile in his shoes. This dude is putting money in the jukebox. And I'm thinking to myself, if I were this guy drinking in this song that I'm writing right now, what song would I want to hear on that jukebox? Name of this song is Bobby Charles on the Jukebox. Dancing alone, $10 in the jukebox. I won't go home till my last song plays. Dancing alone must be a Friday night, must be the only joint in town with Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Maker's Mark or Baker's 7, you could have anything you want. I want bourbon on the rocks and Bobby Charles on the jukebox. It's been a year since I've been with anyone. It's been 1,000 tears ago since she and I were one. It's been a lot to think about, more than enough to drink about. I try not to think out loud about it, but actions are louder than Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Maker's Mark or Baker's 7, you could have anything you want. I want bourbon on the rocks and Bobby Charles on the jukebox. They say, give it time. They say, give it space. I say, give it a rest. I've had it to hear with cliches. I've had to hear everyone's advice. Now I just want to hear the sound of bourbon being poured over ice with Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Maker's Mark or Baker's 7, you could have anything you want. I wanna hear Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Drink Maker's Mark or Baker's 7, you could have anything you want. I want bourbon on the rocks and Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Bobby Charles on the jukebox. Cheers, friends. Here's to you. I'm going to play you one more song, and then we're going to have another edition of Elaine's Kitchen. I've told you the story a time or two, how I was on tour, and I was driving from Virginia back to Buffalo, New York, and I looked on the map. I had my Rand McNally Road Atlas, and I saw State College, Pennsylvania. I'm like, I've heard of that little town. I know that people tour there. It's a college town. I should check it out. And I found my way to a place called Webster's Bookstore and Cafe, and wow, have they grown into just all sorts of amazingness these last couple of decades. For the longest time when I was on tour, I would stop through State College all the time, and if I had new songs, I'd play my show, and then at the end of the show, Elaine and I would end up back at her place in the kitchen, telling stories and catching up a little bit, and I would share a bunch of my new songs. And once upon a long time ago, this was my newest good song. I've been looking for a new direction. Kind of wore out from running around in circles. I feel my soul is in need of a resurrection, but I'm running out of time to wait for miracles. I've been feeling all alone in this city, and I don't go out much. I haven't been feeling very pretty. I spent a lot of time offering the others help. Got a brand new plan in mind this time. Gonna help myself. think I might go for a walk this afternoon, but take a ride with no one, place in mind. I think it's time for me to buy some new clothes and leave these rags that I've been wearing far behind. I got holes that I just cover up with patches, and I've got tears a little trickier to mend, and I've been stained because I didn't pay attention. I swear I'll never be that careless again. Suits me just fine, though some might say that I've been misfit. But it's not what you wear, it's more about how you wear it. So if I seem stressed out, that's my patience wearing thin. I don't know where I'll go to next, but I think I know where I'll begin. I think I might go for a walk this afternoon, take a ride with no one, place in mind. I think it's time for me to buy some new clothes and leave these rags that I've been wearing far behind. Need a change of style, sure need something, it sure has been a while. Might not fit me down the road 'cause I'm still growing, but never trying's more like never knowing. Fact or fiction, the way we wear our lives is strange. And when there's friction, then it's time to make a change. Beauty being skin deep, well, that's half the story at best. No, it doesn't take into account the ways we like to dress. Think I might go for a walk this afternoon, take a ride with no one, place in mind. I think it's time for me to buy some new clothes and leave these rags that I've been wearing far behind. Gonna leave them far behind. Gonna leave them far behind. New clothes. Let's all take a trip to Elaine's kitchen, shall we?
Hi, welcome to another edition of Elaine's Kitchen, during which I realized just how dirty the inside of my microwave was. Tonight, I'm going to show you a quick, fun, and easy way to feed your vegan and gluten-free friends and family a pizza. What? A vegan with a pizza? That's right. So follow along at home, and here we go. So let's look at some of our ingredients. We're going to start with chickpea flour. Not any gluten-free flour, chickpea flour. Look for it. Bob Mills makes a great one. We're going to add some mushrooms. I'm going to make a delicious white bean spread for on top of my pizza. A little tomato paste, lovely herbs from the garden, some farm fresh baby zucchini, and olives. So let's get started with our crust. All right, so to 1 cup of chickpea flour, we're going to add first a good heaping teaspoon of turmeric, a little smidge of salt, just a little pinch. To that, I'm going to add just scant of a cup of water. And I should have something to stir with. Now we're looking for what will be a rather wet dough. Don't worry, we're not turning this into a pizza dough. We're gonna get all the lumps out. Adding that turmeric gives it this beautiful color. This is a protein powerhouse right here, folks. Now we just let that sit for about 5 minutes. While our chickpea flour is set aside for a few minutes, let's prepare some of the toppings. But I love mushrooms. Slice up some of those. And these little baby zucchini have come to meet their end. Now, to do the mushrooms, I'm actually going to put them in my microwave for 3 minutes with just a little smidge of water. The reason I'm doing that is I want those mushrooms to seal up all their pores and not to soak up any more moisture. Okay, so I've got my cast iron skillet on medium heat, and I'm just gonna use my oil sprayer and give it just a little spray so we don't stick to the pan. And to that, we add our beautiful golden chickpea mixture. And I'm just gonna smooth that around the inside of my pan. Okay, now we're gonna make what is our white bean sauce, which to me takes the place of the cheese and the tomato sauce as well. With, what the heck, let's do 2 cloves of garlic tonight. And a little bit of lemon juice, and then we're gonna just blend that up. Okay, we're back here with the crust. Now, I want you to notice that this has been on the stove. This took about 5-6 minutes to get to this point where it's cooked the whole way through and it's this great consistency. Now, here's a trick I've learned. There's no way you're ever gonna get this pizza out of this skillet once you put toppings on it and remove it. So do yourself a favor, take it out of the pan. You're gonna flip your skillet over, put it on the bottom of it, and now we're gonna top it. Okay, for the last little step, I'm gonna take some of my tomato paste and I'm just gonna, I like to swirl it into my white bean sauce. You could do the same thing with pesto or both. Go crazy, right? So we're gonna spread this right on our crust. Look at that, oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Great. Sprinkle our toppings. Some fresh rosemary. Some oregano from the garden. And then we've got our nooch to sprinkle on top. Let's get this in under the broiler for about 5-6 minutes. All right, I can hear the pizza sizzling in there. Let's take it out. And I'm going to carefully slide it onto my cutting board. And then I'm just gonna give it a slice. It was so uneven, that's okay. I know which side I'm having. And then there we go. I'd serve this with a beautiful salad, some fresh tomatoes if the chipmunk didn't eat them all. So there you have it. A vegan, gluten-free, quick and easy pizza, appetizers, or dinner. Thanks. Now back to Greg.
It's 2 degrees in Buffalo. Snow is coming down. It's whiteness blankets everything around. Drifts that measure 6 and 7 feet above the ground. Plows will run all night to move the snow. It's only 2 degrees in Buffalo. Cold, dry wind, a storm is coming over water that is warmer. Weathermen do what they can to warn of a northbound pressure system, and now they're coming down from Canada over Erie and Ontario. It's only 2 degrees in Buffalo. City's getting older, all the youth is moving out. Some as soon as they can leave their parents' house. They'll graduate from a college there and get hired for a job down south, where the coolest thing they'll hear is on the radio. They earned their 2 degrees in Buffalo. Saturday morning at the Broadway market, say dzień dobry, pani matka. Buy a beef on weck or get a pound of Saileen's dogs. You can walk the Elmwood Strip and shop. Take your children to Albright Knox, and maybe out to see Niagara Falls. And if they act up, just remind them of Father Baker's Hall. Anywhere you travel, folks have heard of Buffalo. The chicken wings, the sports teams, and the snow. No one talks about the culture or the history, for these are things that so few seem to know. Oh, so few seem to know of the inventions, exhibitions, contributions to a nation growing strong. A stop along the Underground Railroad, where living to dance have lived and died, while industry and art grew side by side. But heydays come and heydays go, and they have happened to a degree in Buffalo. At the turn of the 20th century, the City of Light had jobs aplenty. Immigrants from Europe made their homes in the parks of Frederick Law Olmsted. You could read from a paper Mark Twain. It started before the St. Lawrence Seaway came along, and the Erie Canal was more than just a folk song. At 3 a.m., if I want a drink, I just might go down to the Allentown Arts District and hang out at a bar called the Old Pink, see if any of my old friends are still hanging around. Now they claim in our nation there are 6 degrees of separation, and I hear the same is true the whole world around. But in the city of good neighbors, man, it's more like a small town. It's only 2 degrees in Buffalo, and anywhere you go, you're bound to see somebody that you know. hospital, I'm proud to call it home. And anywhere the buffalo may roam, from Atlanta, Georgia, out to the plains of Colorado. We talk of friends and memories of home. It's only 2 degrees in Buffalo. All together now. It's only 2 degrees in Buffalo. 2 degrees in Buffalo. The original version of that is on an album called Rust Belt Vagabond. I did an updated version like the one I just played for you, solo acoustic, available on something called By Request, Volume 1. Tomorrow is Bandcamp Friday, the day when Bandcamp waives their revenue share. And that means all the money from all the sales on Bandcamp go to the music creators, folks like me. So if you want to buy that version of that song on an album called By Request Volume 1, tomorrow, Bandcamp Friday, would be a great time to do it. I've been thinking about maybe making a By Request Volume 2, but I haven't recouped enough funds from By Request Volume 1 yet to justify the expense of recording a second album. But maybe tomorrow a whole bunch of you go buy it, and I'll take all that money and I'll spend it on making a new album. And this is something I haven't addressed yet tonight, and I apologize for not bringing it up sooner. For those of you who've been following the show, you know that early on in the All Together Now, I've been donating 25% of the money to a charity, and there's been a different charity. POS Music Works, the Boston Cambridge Musicians Fund, the Band Together Buffalo GoFundMe. I sent money off to the NAACP Legal Fund, Miranda's Hearth in this part of Massachusetts, etc., etc. There have been a lot of charities that have gotten some money from us, the 25% that I've sent. And then more recently, we've had some special guests, and I've been able to, instead of pay that 25% to a charity on a national level, I'm not going to say that they don't need it, but there are working musicians out of work in Greater Boston right now. So if I can send a little money to my friend Andy Santaspag or Paul Dilly and get some other friends, like chiming in and doing stuff, if I can help pay some musicians, I'd like to do that. From now on. So when you see the Venmo and the PayPal up there, I take a little bit of that money, I invest it in equipment. I still need to buy better lighting than I've got. The lighting needs an upgrade, and at some point I'm going to probably need to do something about my computer. It works good for this, but I could probably get a computer that is specific to this activity, streaming, and etc., etc. There are expenses involved. I'm going to cover them as I go, but what I'd like to do a lot now is, like, I'd like to hire musicians and recording engineers and, like, go record another album and pay that guy. I mean, the NAACP needs it. The charities out there. I've given a lot of money to POS Music Works. I love Bill Pasalacqua, but he would understand if I hire musicians to do stuff and hire recording engineers. So that's what my goal is right now with percentages of the money that comes in on these shows. Man, I'm yapping. Somebody's got to just. Hey, Becky, I'm over here yapping. I need help. I'm a needle on a record stuck in a groove. I need assistance. You got the band? Is the banjo in tune?
It's in D. What do you think about that?
I like D. I got a song in D. I've written one song in all these years. I've written exactly one song in the key of D. It modulates to E though, so hold on tight. I hope you got a capo.
We should put some more of those around the house. Sprinkle them around the house.
Just wherever you need. Oh, here's one here. Does that work? Water, drink more water. I ain't had near as much as I should. Bartender, don't you think you could put a little water in my drink? 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Last night I got in after like a log. See, when I'm waking up in a fog, I'm gonna take some good advice from a friend. She said, I ought to drink my water. I ain't had near as much as I should. Bartender, don't you think you could put a little water in my drink? 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Banjo player, pick it now. Now here of late, I've been blacking out. I asked the doc, what could that all be about? He told me I'm a fool as he turned on his bar stool, spoke out of the corner of his mouth. He said I ought to drink my water. I ain't had near as much as I should. Bartender, don't you think you could put a little water in my drink? 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Watch out now. Now the moral of the story is I need help. 'Cause down at the bar, I'm not allowed to help myself. I've got a thirst I need to quench, y'all, and hydration is essential. Fill my glass, let's raise a toast to my health. Yeah, I ought to drink my water. I ain't had near as much as I should. Bartender, don't you think you could put a little water in my drink? 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Yeah, I ought to drink my water. I ain't had near as much as I should. Bartender, don't you think you could put a little water in my drink? 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Hey bartender, I do think I need a splash of water in my next drink. 'Cause the whiskey makes the water taste so good. Hey, it's Becky Hall, everybody. Give her some applause emojis.
I'm gonna go get some water.
Ah, good idea, kid. All right. Well, hey, I'm looking at the clock and thinking I got about time for one more song, and wanted to tell you a story, seeing as how I started out the show with how's it going with that lyric about Grandpa, and told y'all in the greeting room about the root beer floats, and played that song about Grandpa's Purple Heart. I thought I ought to play this other song. If you're on my email list, you already know about a song called "Get My Fill" and a place called the Coffee Bean Cafe that I used to play. There was a time many years ago now when I was playing. I had a residency at the Coffee Bean Cafe, and one night my grandfather joined me. He joined me for a bunch of the show, and man alive, I cannot find my G harmonica, which is kind of distressing because I so need it for this particular song. And it had to have, oh, there it is. That was a close one. I used to play a place called the Coffee Bean Cafe. Look at those applause emojis. Oh my goodness gracious, that is awesome. Coffee Bean Cafe on Main Street near the UB South campus. And you heard me talking earlier about some of my videos conceived and created by Lori Bousquet and Aaron Sugar. Met them at the Coffee Bean Cafe. If you're following the comments right now, you see my friend Paulie Gipp. Paulie and I used to jam over there. He would play congas and percussion, and I would play guitar and harmonica and maybe some mandolin and sing songs and stuff. The Coffee Bean Cafe is where I made up Beanbag Chair. Made it up on the spot. It was an improvised song. And there was this time in 1998, March of 1998, I know because my grandfather died. Could I ask you to shut off that light, please? My grandfather died in April of 1998.
The one right above you?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And so I know that it was March of the previous year that this happened. The previous year, it was March of that year when this happened, and it was when I was a kid. My grandfather would play harmonica, and my Uncle Billy would play guitar. We didn't have cable. We had Uncle Billy and Grandpa, and they played tunes, and that was enough. Everybody nowadays is like, I need to buy my kid a new game thing, and I can't keep them to concentrate. It's like, when I was a kid, you could give us a rock and a stick. It's like, and we had Grandpa and Uncle Billy playing tunes. It was enough, You give people enough, and they're satisfied. You tell them they don't have enough, and they get dissatisfied. It's just the way it works. And so, at some point along the line, Grandpa just doesn't play harmonica anymore. And then I get to the point in life where I'm writing songs, and I'm kind of like, man, why don't you play harmonica anymore? And I got him to come out and join me at the Coffee Bean Cafe one night. And it was pretty cool, and he was nervous about it because he hadn't played in so long. So we practiced. We went over, some songs, a Marty Robbins song. How does it go? I never felt more like singing the blues. I never thought that I'd ever lose your love. Why did you treat me this way? Played that song, and we played in the twilight glow I see her, blue eyes crying in the rain. Played that one together, and a Hank Williams song, I think. Oh yeah, it was Today I passed you on the street, and my heart fell at your feet. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Played these songs, and then Grandpa sat down. That was the end of set 1, and then there was an intermission, and I had a set 2 to play. Now, during the intermission, I hung out inside the Coffee Bean Cafe. My friend Jim, who owned the Coffee Bean Cafe, happened to go outside and hang out on the sidewalk that night. He would report to me later on that my grandfather was dancing on air. I didn't see it, but I got on good authority that it happened. So my grandfather, who was like, I want to play early because, I got to get home. Well, he was there, and he wound up staying the whole night. So I play set number 2, and he's sticking around, and it was one of them great nights. You have statistical great nights, and it was just like everything was just freaking awesome that night. And at the end of the show, everybody's like, come on, Greg, one more, come on. And I'm like, I'll play one more song if you can get my grandfather to come up here and join me. Come on, Grandpa, come on. So they all get him up there, and he's kind of like, all strutting his stuff, walking up to the stage, and hanging out. And he says, what song are we going to play? We'd played the 5 that we'd rehearsed. I say, we're going to play Get My Fill. It's a song I wrote. He says, I don't know that one. I say, it's in the key of G. Just like grab your G harmonica, you'll be fine. He says, but I don't know it. I'm like, Grandpa, don't worry about it, So I start playing the song. And I'm standing over here, and he's sitting over there. And I'm looking at him, and I'm playing. And he's just sitting there. And I'm like, Grandpa, play. And he's like, I don't know it. And I'm like, Grandpa, it's in the key of G. It's easy. Just play. It's easy. So, for the first, and what turned out to be the last time in my grandpa's life, he improvised. And it was cool. Gonna go down where I first saw her. order up a cool drink of water, gonna drink it down, down. I don't want no other, and I ain't coming back until I get my fill. I've never been out of old Oklahoma, gonna drive southwest hard looking for my Ramona, gonna track her down, down. I don't want no other, and I ain't coming home until I get my fill. Cause I never had nothing short of nothing, but I never wanted much anyway. Sure, I've been lonesome, but that's beside the point. I just felt it's time that I had a change. A good job, and sure sometimes the work gets hard, but I've been there 7 months and I haven't missed one day so far. But I gotta go now, you see, I'm looking for my lover, and I ain't coming back until I get my fill. Cause I never had nothing short of nothing, but I never wanted much anyway. Sure, I've been lonesome, but that's beside the point. I just felt it's time that I had a change. No, I never had nothing short of nothing. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight on All Together Now. For those of you that are interested, we're going to have a little post-show hang in the Zoom room. Aaron Sugar has posted the link. See you there, friends. Peace.